Hi, welcome to my channel, Senior Sue Cacti and Succulents. Today I'm going to show you how I propagate this Aeonium Lily Pad. So what I'm going to be doing is cleaning off all of the dead leaves, and I will be cutting the stems right near the plant so I can get more plants out of this one plant. And I have 3 pots here. So it looks like I will get quite a few propagations out of it. And I will also be showing you some leaf propagation. Okay, let's bring them over to my potting bench and we'll get these all put together. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the top dressing. I like to save it if I can. It seems that sometimes top dressing is hard to come by at a reasonable price. So I'm just going to pour it all out into this little tray and set it aside and save it for a later use. Now that I have all the rock removed from the top of the plant, I'm going to remove the plant from the pot and then start cutting up the stems. I have found that these chopsticks come in really handy for removing plants and for potting new plants into the soil. If you are going to be working with small succulents in small pots, I highly recommend picking up some succulent tools. These guys are really handy in removing the small plants and planting them. I'm going to cut the stems off now, and I should get a lot of plants out of these. Here I'm trying to decide whether or not to behead these or just leave the tall stem on it. But since I want the plants to look a little bit more compact, I think I will be cutting the stem off. And then I'll be using the bottom part where the roots are to plant in the ground, because there may be some little plants that grow up along the side of the stem. We'll see. That'll be kind of an experiment. All right, now I'm going to tackle the other 2 pots, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with these cuttings. Now I'm ready to start placing the cuttings into the soil, and you notice I did not let them harden off. If you are going to put them in wet soil or in the ground, if you're expecting rain, then you definitely need to harden off your succulents. However, I am just going to take these cuttings and plop them right into the dirt. I do not plan on watering them for probably about 2 weeks. And I'm going to keep them underneath the eaves if it does rain, underneath the eaves of my house. So it's really easy. You just plop them right into the dirt. And I'm also saving some of these leaves because I'm going to show you how I set those up for propagation. But this is just a really easy process. But if you want to harden them off, just let them set in a cool, dry place for a day or 2, and then you can put them into the soil. But I'm not worried. I've done this many times this way, and I have not had any problems. You can see I'm using this tool again to poke a hole into the soil and then just plop the cutting right on down into the soil. And by the way, the soil that I am using, it is a cactus and succulent soil. I don't use a super gritty soil because it gets really dry where I live. I live in Southern California, and the soil dries out way too fast. So I kind of think it depends upon where you live, what type of environment you're keeping your plants in, as to what type of soil you should use. Everybody has their favorites, and just use whatever works for you. If you want to learn more about the Aeonium Lily Pad, I did make a short video under shorts, so if I'm able to, I will put the link up above in the right hand corner, and that will give you more information about this plant. You can see that I'm picking off more leaves from this cutting so that I can propagate those leaves. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of these cuttings all potted up, and then I will show you how I set up my little propagation tray for the leaves. For my propagation tray, I'm just using this little plastic container that had frozen food in it, one of those frozen ready meals, and I poked holes all over in the bottom of the tray. And once again, I'm just using my regular cactus and succulent soil mix. Okay, let me show you what I'm going to do with the leaves now. I'm just going to take them and place them right on top of the soil. I'm not going to bury them into the soil. I'm just going to lay them on top. And within a few weeks, I may see some roots come out of the leaves, and then maybe not too long after that, teeny baby plantlets growing on the end of the leaves. After all of the leaflets have been placed on top of the soil, I'm just going to lightly spray them with some water from a spray bottle, and I'm going to keep my soil kind of consistently moist, and I put them in a spot where it receives morning sun but not hot afternoon sun. And if I think it's getting too hot, then I'll just pick them up and place them in the shade. Now that all the leaflets have been placed in the tray, I'm going to show you later on in the video what I am going to do with these remaining leaves. Okay, now it's time to pot up the remaining 3 mother plants. Everything is now potted up, and I believe I got approximately 13 additional plants out of these 3 main mother plants, so that's pretty good. What I'm going to do with these remaining leaves, I'm going to take them over here on the side of my garden. Oh, ignore that, that's a project that's coming up. But anyway, I'm going to take them over here in my messy garden with leaves. I'm just going to leave those leaves, and I'm going to take these leaves and toss them into the soil. If they propagate, they propagate. If they don't, they don't. So we will see what happens down the line. And I've got a mess here, as you can see. Need to get out here and kind of blow the leaves out of here, but I'll do that later. Look at the pretty flower on this one. Here's another pretty flower. It's kind of a peachy coral, and that's on a succulent. What kind, I cannot tell you. And I also have some volunteers coming up here. I used to have a crepe myrtle in the back, so I need to dig that out. These guys are looking pretty good. So this is just really a brief, very, very brief look at one side of my garden. There's my copper spoons, doing pretty good. Now, I had a lot of echeverias in where this blue glass is, and unfortunately, they rotted out, so I'll put something else in there, and you can see the flowers that are starting to form on this plant. I think it's some type of kalanchoe. And then in the back here, there are some real pretty flowers that are going to be coming up. They kind of look like little coral bells. Here are the roots and the stems of the 3 mother plants, so I'm just going to take them over into the corner of my yard and go ahead and plant them. I have an orange tree here. Looks like a good orange is on the ground. I'm not sure. We're going to pick it up and look at it. These are navel oranges. It's got a little hole in there, but I have quite a few oranges on the tree, so I'm not too worried about this one. Yeah, they're looking pretty edible. They're getting very close to being able to pick off the tree. I think there's a few in here I might be able to pick and eat. The 3 mother plants are going into the ground, and since they do have roots, I will be watering these plants. And you can see how hard and dry my ground is. We haven't had our winter rains yet, and this is mid-December. So I think we're supposed to be getting rain next week, so that will be a very welcome event. Here they are all planted in the ground, so I will give you progress on these down the road as I see things happening. But you can see it is really easy to propagate succulents. There's not an easier plant around in my opinion, but I still have more work to do. I need to get the leaves out, get things all cleaned up all around, but I just wanted to show you this little flower on this kalanchoe plant before I go. Okay, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and I hope you will consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.